Welcome, welcome, welcome to another Political reaction video. I'm your girl, Olivia Rondo, and today we got Attorney General Pam Bondi testifying before the Congress on Donald Trump's 2026 budget for the federal government. And there's just a lot of lies and back and forth going on, so let's go.
You want to protect law enforcement, but your principal, the president, pardoned every single one on January 6th. It rings hollow when you say these words, that if you spit on a police officer, we're going to go after you. Talk to my friends who are Capitol Police officers who were here, 5 of whom are no longer here. They are dead. And this administration, and I guess I want to ask you, did you have any advice for the president when he came forward with the blanket pardon on January 20th? What advice did you offer the president?
I am never going to talk about conversations, advice in any way.
Were you asked
I'm
for
never
advice?
going to talk about discussions I've had or have not had.
You'll
I
remember.
can answer with the President of the United
Yes or no?
States.
Did you give him any advice? Yes or no?
I am not going to discuss any conversations
That's a no.
I have had with it.
And
you just put
your
words in
own
my
word.
mouth. I am not going to
No,
discuss.
I'm going to reveal your own words.
I am
Just
not
a moment.
going to
Please stop.
discuss
Please stop. This
conversations
is my
that I've
time.
had with the President of the United States.
Attorney
you asked
General,
me a question.
I would like to reclaim
and
the
you
last
asked
20
me to
seconds.
answer.
I have asked to reclaim my time. Please put 20 seconds back on the clock.
You have an extra 30.
If the general,
She answered and then answered it again and answered it again with a non-answer. I ask for your consideration
if the
of putting time
gentlelady
on.
will let the witness answer the question, we will.
She
proceed.
answered it by saying no. Okay. The 3 hallmarks of this administration are incompetence, corruption, and cruelty. I'm going to focus today on corruption. And in my mind, there are 2 types of corruption: personal, and then the other I'm going to call public, governmental. Attorney General, have you ever been registered as an agent of a foreign principal under the Foreign Agents Registration Act?
Okay, shortly before we get into this, because I do want to see where this line of questioning is going, there are 2 major falsehoods or fallacies that I see this far left Democrat congresswoman use against the Attorney General. First of all, she said 5 of the Capitol Police officers are no longer with us due to the events that occurred on January 6, 2021. If you're just going off of, let's just give a totally neutral source. How about the chief medical examiner for Washington, D.C., who found that despite CNN reports and despite reports from leftist media and Democrat politicians that Officer Brian Sicknick, God bless him, God rest his soul, unfortunately died from 2 strokes that occurred the next day after the January 6th protest, event, whatever you want to call it. And the medical examiner ruled that he died a natural death. Now, to make that designation, to say that a death was natural, that means that no injuries or anything that could have occurred on that day were found to have sped up the process of his death, that, because he already had a medical condition that led to the strokes. So there's that. The other 4 officers who she claims that are no longer with us because of the events that occurred on January 6th, unfortunately, all 4 of those officers committed suicide. 2 within the following days, I think both in January of that year, and then 2 more many months later, actually, both in July. Now, I'm not privy to any reasoning they gave, but it's just speculation. It's really just speculation. And you can't charge anybody at that protest for the crime of this officer was so traumatized that he committed suicide or she committed suicide days, weeks, or months later. You simply can't do that. And it's really dishonest to attribute a terrible tragedy, honestly, because I don't want any police officers to do that to themselves. I don't want anybody to do that to themselves. Unfortunately, it is a profession with that a lot of trauma and stressful events come from. So I don't think it's fair to say all 5 of these deaths are because of January 6th. They're no longer with us because of January 6th, when it's really not an objective truth. Secondly, the other false thing I'm seeing here is this congresswoman. She just won't let Bondi answer. She just won't let Bondi answer. Bondi said, "Hey, attorney-client privilege. I'm not going to tell you legal advice that I gave to a client who happens to be the president of the United States." I feel like that's enough of an answer in itself. She didn't say yes. She didn't say no. She is basically, in my view, I view that as attorney-client privilege. She doesn't have to say anything. But let's continue. Sorry about that.
I assume you're talking about when I represented the country of Qatar for a very short time.
Hold on.
No. For anti-human trafficking for the World Cup. Anti-human trafficking for the World Cup.
Attorney
you can't
General,
put words in my mouth.
No.
You want to talk about incompetence? You're the one that said Joe Biden on PBS was competent. You had to retract those words.
Mr.
Don't
Chairman,
talk to me. Don't insult me publicly.
This is so discourteous.
Boom.
This is so outside the committee's guidelines.
Boom.
Taking a personal shot at me while swiping at Biden? Very strange and very unprofessional of you. The answer is yes.
Taking a personal shot at me? No, that wasn't a personal shot. You are trying to imply, Congresswoman Dean, you are trying to imply that she is somehow a registered foreign agent or she has outside allegiances to Qatar or any other foreign nation. She just explained it right there. Anti-human trafficking, World Cup, very international event, very ripe for human trafficking if you actually know about these events. I mean, any really major sporting event in general, the Olympics has problems with human trafficking as well, but I don't think it's a terrible thing or really ominous at all or something to bring up when that was the case. She was registered representing Qatar, helping to stop human trafficking. So sorry, and I do think it was relevant to bring up her hypocrisy surrounding Biden because I just feel like we can't beat the dead horse enough. The Democrats covered up Biden's mental decline. I mean, it's the original sin. And not that I'm promoting that book because I honestly have not read it or most of it. I've not read most of it. I've read pieces. But the fact that it's all out there in the mainstream media now, it's pretty much fair game. We're going to call you guys out for covering up Biden's decline. I'm so sorry. And I mean, you're a congressman from the 4th District of Pennsylvania. I'm so sorry. I don't think you are the arbiter who gets to decide if the Attorney General is being unprofessional because I don't believe she is. And it honestly looks like you're throwing a tantrum and you keep begging for 20 seconds and you keep begging for your time back. But I think you've had enough. Let's wrap this up.
Yes or no? And the answer is yes. You were registered as a lobbyist for Qatar. Is that correct? Yes. Never mind. Don't answer. Did you disclose that when you went before for the Senate for confirmation? Yes or no? No, it was not in your documents. The answer is no. President Trump.
This was discussed at my confirmation hearings in detail.
It was discussed, but you failed to bring up the conflict that you had. President Trump recently announced he'd accept that $400 million.
What does that even mean? It was discussed, but you failed to bring it up in detail. Well, first you said she didn't disclose it at all, so which one is it? I'm kind of confused. Let's continue.
Qatar airplane because it was just prettier than the one he was flying around in. Is it true that you gave advice that this was legally permissible? Yes.
See, how is that not a personal jab? She's bringing up Trump saying, oh, the Air Force One that he was flying around in is just not pretty enough for him. And that's why he accepted the gift from Qatar. That it's meaningless. It has nothing to pertain to, it doesn't pertain to the Attorney General, but she better piss me off. All right, let's continue.
Or no?
I will not discuss any advice that my Office of Legal Counsel gives to the President of the United States on any matter.
When you spoke before the Senate, you said you would ask for ethical advice. Did you recuse yourself from that issue?
And talking about unprofessional, you say the President wanted a jet because it's pretty?
Excuse me.
This is a Senate. This is a congressional hearing.
Exactly.
He said it himself.
To be clear, Trump said a lot more about Boeing, Air Force One, airplanes, besides, Cutter's is just prettier. Okay, just to be clear. Y'all can look that up and fact check me too. Let's wrap it up. Oh, that's it. Oh, that's it. Okay, that was the end of the video. Okay, Congresswoman Dean, I know you thought you were going to have your little viral moment there. I'm gonna make you viral now. I mean, this could go viral, but I know you thought you were gonna get your jab in at this woman. She's new to the administration. You know, you just think you're better than her, and she's just a dumb, you know, Trump lackey, Trump crony, and she doesn't know what she's talking about. You know, before she became the Attorney General, she did practice law for many years. She's had very high up roles in Florida. And as a lawyer previously to her becoming a prosecutor, I believe. So she knows what attorney-client privilege is, in short. She's allowed to say, I'm not telling you what I discussed with my client, who happens to be the president of the United States. She doesn't have to do that. She actually shouldn't do that if she's smart, which, I mean, here at least she's demonstrated that she is. And it actually is just funny to watch the Congresswoman just kind of blow up, and everybody else in the room is smirking. Everybody else in the room is laughing at her. They're not taking the line of questioning seriously because it is unserious. Implying that she's some type of foreign agent who is somehow connected to the airplane that Trump was gifted from Qatar, because she didn't disclose that she was working to end human trafficking. Okay, you got her. You got her. You got me there. You got her. It's just ridiculous. I don't know. What does this have to do with the federal budget is what I'm asking, because this is about Trump's 2026 Justice Department budget request. This is about funding the federal government. What does this have to do with anything? How about we talk about where the money is being spent? I would think that would be a great use of both of y'all's times, of my taxpayer dollars, of my time watching this video and reacting to it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe to Politibrawl, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.